part 2 of replacing the head gasket on this engine. Now I've already gone through and dug out as much of that, or actually all of it, of the head gasket fixed in a bottle. Try not to use that unless you really have to. If you do, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time cleaning. I got everything cleaned up. Here's a new gasket. It's a Fel-Pro head gasket, and it only lays down one way. You can't mess this up because it's got 2 studs that stick up here. It can only go this way. So make sure everything is as nice and as clean as possible, and then you slide it down over these 2 studs on your 1NZFE engine. So just they're real snug, so just push down, you know, firmly but gently, and then just make sure everything sits. And you see how everything is sitting right now. Now we're going to take the head that I've cleaned up, make sure it was nice and clean and straight, and set it right on top of this. Before I forget, which I just did, but before you forget, take your air nozzle and blow out the head bolts, where the head bolts go, because just make sure there's nothing in there to keep it from binding, not getting the right torque. Now I've got to clean it all over again because I forgot to do that to begin with. Okay, now it is time to put this head gasket on again. And like I said, there's only one way to get this on. You're gonna see these tabs right here. They have an extra hole on each side. Here's the studs, called alignment studs. And you just get it on there and just kinda, that one's always a little bit difficult. Now it's nice and tight. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a rag. Looks like I got a little drop of oil or something there. My mom says I'm oily. I smell like motor oil, so go figure. So I'm gonna go clean that off just lightly, and then I'll put the head on it. Next step is to take the head that's all cleaned up and carefully line it up on those studs. Try not to damage the head gasket. Still trying to line it up. No, there's the front. Oh, there's the back. No, that ain't right. Well, here we go, finally. There's the back, and watch this one be a little bit difficult. Of course it is. Just kind of wiggle it on there. There we go. Now time to put the head bolts and the washers on here, and then we can torque it down. Here's the head bolt, new head bolts. I went ahead and pre-greased it. Not a whole lot of oil, just a little bit of motor oil or some special head fastening bolt oil, but motor oil. Actually, it's assembly lube. And also oil the washer, because you don't want it binding up on that metal. You want a true torque to avoid what happened to me earlier. So it's kind of hard to get these washers in here. So carefully, you have to get closer. Carefully, I'm gonna kind of get it. Now this thing drops in this engine. I'm gonna have to take the head off again and just line it up. I can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, the washer is on the bolt, and then I'm gonna just drop it down in there. I think I may have a trick here. Go ahead and start it on here, let it drop, and then slide it over. Now it's right over the hole, and just drop it down in there. And then I'll hand tighten all of these, and then we'll torque it down. So it's 22 foot-pounds. Now there's an order to do this so you don't warp the head, everything sets down. So we're gonna go to 22 foot-pounds, and how it's gonna go, and I got a wrote here on this box, which we're gonna post a picture of what it actually looks like in the book, but it's gonna be 1, 2, so right here in the front on the intake in the middle, then the exhaust intake in the middle, then we're gonna drop down to number 3, and we're gonna go across here 4, 5, 6, and so on. But what we're gonna do, 20 foot-pounds, and then once we hit them all 20 foot-pounds, I'm gonna take a white marker, put a dot on each of these head bolts, and then I'm gonna turn it 90 degrees, go all the way through, and then I'm gonna turn it again one more time, 90 degrees, and it will be torqued down. So I got it set on this one. This is the first one, 22 foot-pounds. Oh, got to turn the wrong way. Okay, 22 foot-pounds till it clicks. Hear it? That's 22 foot-pounds. So the number 1 head bolt's torqued down, so then I move to number 2 until it clicks. There. Now, don't do a mistake that I did early on when I started doing all this, not on this engine. Make sure when you got your hand on this torque wrench, the clicking mechanism is here. So don't be like right here holding it and then it never clicks. Don't want to do that, okay? So 22 foot-pounds is not a whole lot, but we're going to turn it 1 complete rotation when it's all said and done. First half, then another half, but I have to do that after I get them all to 22 foot-pounds. This is an aluminum block, so not much, I mean, it's enough for it, okay? They know exactly what they're doing. So I'm going to do all of this, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to go half a turn. Now we've torqued them down to 22 foot-pounds. Then I went with a white oil-based marker. You can do it just a brush with paint. Go down here and mark 1 tip of the bolt straight. So you know when you do 90 degrees, which way it'll be facing, and then another 90 degrees on the 3rd go around. So, but one little tip, okay? We torqued these head bolts down to 22 foot-pounds. And once I got all the way through, I thought, well, let me make sure I got all of them down. Don't do that. And I learned real quick. So I compensated for that because I put the mark a little bit off. What I did was, well, let me do that. No, that's not part of the process, because as soon as you tighten all the other head bolts, it's no longer going to be 22 foot-pounds on that head bolt. That's why you do the 2 half turns. So going back to this, number 1's right here. Now it's not a torque wrench, just a breaker bar. Get that all the way down in there. Now we're going to turn that dot till it's facing my camera lady here. I'm going to turn it whole half turn. Hold on, where we're at. Okay, quarter turn, and it gets really tight. Like, well, I'm afraid I'm going to break it, right? And 1 more, a little bit more. Okay, that is actually just a tiny bit more. Okay, now it is now facing the opposite direction, 180 degrees. Now I'm going to go all the way through the sequence, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, all the way around. Once I get a half turn, then I'm going to start again with number 1 and turn it completely back around to where it was at. Now, as you can see, I've already torqued them a half a turn. Now, every one of these head bolts that was painted white, they were all facing outward. So that white dot was going that way, that one was going over there. Now they're facing each other. So now I got 1 more half a turn on all of them in sequence, and then it would be, the head would be torqued down. All of the head bolts are now torqued correctly. If you notice, all of the head bolts are now facing, that dot is facing toward the exterior of the engine on both sides. So it's torqued down, the head is now installed, the gasket is torqued down, head is torqued down. Next thing is I'm going to put the lifter buckets all on here. I'm going to lube them up with break-in grease, as well as all of these right here where the cam just sits on. Now, these aren't bearings, it's just straight aluminum, so it's very important to have them pre-lubed. And when you put the cam down, we're going to torque it down to the appropriate specs, and it'll be ready to go. I've got the buckets in. Now, when I keep saying I'm using assembly lube, you can use whatever brand you want. I just got this. This one's actually a little cheaper. And I'm going to put a drop of assembly lube on all of these. I'm not going to be cheap about it. And plus, I'm going to go ahead and do it here too. And then I'll also lube the cam up and the cam bearings. I mean, you just can't, you know, you can't be like too much on here, because it all needs to be lubricated, especially upon startup. Once you got the caps put back on the cam, then you need to torque it down to 108 inch-pounds of torque. Now they make this really easy for you, because like the intake has I2, I3, I4, I5. This big thing in the front that we're going to put on last will be, you know, I1 and E1. So intake 1, exhaust 1. So that's just all one piece. So it'd be 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, 2, 3, 4, 5. These will say I2 or I3, I4, I5, as in intake 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this will be exhaust E2, 3, 4, and 5. So 108 inch pounds, not foot, 108 inch pounds, and torque it down. Oh, and by the way, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, torque this one first, then these, and then these, and then finally that at the very end, the big cap at the end. Now that we have the cam caps torqued down at 108 inch pounds, we're going to get our foot-pounds torque wrench and torque the last three, this one unified cam cap here, to 17 foot-pounds. I'm going to start in the middle until it clicks, and then it doesn't matter which side, just till it clicks. And one more time. There. That's amazingly, that's all that you need to do to hold these down. The next step is to put the timing chain, and it's not that difficult. Timing on this is not difficult. Well, it is if you're, you know, it's in the engine bay and it's kind of hard, you can't see, but I have the engine out, so it makes it a lot easier. Now, this is your intake cam. You notice this indentation right here, goes all the way through. I highlighted it with white. So that tooth is top dead center on that. That's your timing mark. Another verification is this one has a single hole, and that's your timing. So it lines up with that one. On the exhaust cam, there's a little, well, I covered over it, but it was like, there's dots all the way around this, but there's a line that's like cut into this. So I just highlighted that, and that's top dead center for that tooth. On the back side here, where the front cap is, there's a little peg sticking up here. That's your timing mark. So you notice I have it off by a bit. So if you come back this way, I'll show you. When you put the chain on and you set the tensioner, you release the tensioner, the force of it's going to make this thing rotate backwards. So the book says to advance these just a little bit. And so on this one, that timing mark is going to be 2 teeth over. So here's your timing mark. Skip this one. That will be top dead center now on this. And you'll know it because when you look over here, it is lined up perfectly with this little peg. I know you can't see it on there. Let's see if oh, here's my marker. Right there. Okay. So that's lined up with that. And then this one, it is also 2 teeth over. Here's the top, the timing mark. This is where it's lined up now. And a verification, if you come on this side, look through that hole right there. You'll see that little peg sticking straight up right in the center of that. And let me give a dot on it. Yeah, so that's center. Now your crankshaft is down here. Your timing mark is this little hole right here. I've highlighted it in white. If that's where it's supposed to be, it's be where this division is from the top of the oil pan to the bottom of the block, but they want you to advance it. So what it is, there's this one. You're going to want to line this up, the division of this block right here in the center of this. And so this is advanced forward. That's in line with the original one. You want this one to be lined up in there. And so now everything's ready to go. I'll just put my chain on, and here's, you'll notice that your chain will have a couple of colored, and this one is like a yellow up here, and there is a kind of a reddish dark orange at the bottom. This is where your cam mark goes. This is where your crank mark goes down here. Your cam goes up here. So you grab your chain, and these two yellow color pieces here line up exactly with your timing mark. Okay? Oh, let me get past that spark there. All right. Then your cam will line up with your cam mark, the original one. And let's see, I'm gonna have to move, there we go. Just kind of mess with it. It'll line up right there. Now you notice the slack? That's gonna be took up once I put the timing guide in there. And so here's the timing guide right here. Now I'm reusing mine because I only had this on here for like 10,000 miles, if even that. Everything is perfectly fine. So you notice there's 2 holes here at the bottom. Use the bottom one and it will line up just like this. Just like this. So I will get my 10mm bolts that come with it. Just gonna finger tight it right now. Okay, and then the bottom one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get the other timing chain guide placed on the other side. And then we'll verify that everything is exactly where it should be. When you pull the pin on this, it's gonna put that plunger out, that tensioner, and it's gonna make everything rotate back ever so slightly. The main thing is yellow, yellow on the timing marks, orange on this timing mark, and when you pull the pin, it'll go back. Make sure that the slack on the chain is on this side so it can pull, pull the slack, okay? So just work on it. It's not that difficult. Once you get it all done, it'll be like, oh, that made a whole lot more sense. I got the timing cover on now, but I really been wanting to tell you that once you set the timing, you can go ahead and turn the engine manually to make sure nothing binds, everything sounds good. But do not be surprised when the timing marks don't line up, because this thing is a variable cam and it's not gonna line up once you start moving it ever again. Those timing marks are only for installation purposes only. Once it starts moving, you're never gonna get it lined up, and that kind of freaked me out at first because I've put engines back together and the marks would at least come the second term, they'll line up again, but this won't do that. So once you get it set, it's set. It's gonna go that way. When you put the timing cover on, here's a tip. Before you put the silicone or the RTV, whatever you use, before you put it on the timing cover, you've got to get this timing cover with the oil pump lined up. So put it on there dry first, get it to where it's going to slide on, then put the silicone, take it off, put the silicone, and then it'll line right up. And I didn't put the hub back on here because putting it in that engine compartment is going to be so tight. I know that it's best to just take the hub, leave the hub off with the bolt out of it. Gives you just enough room to get this engine in there. And so the next video, which I'm going to release pretty quickly after this one, we're going to get the old engine, the bad engine, out of the Blue XP, and then we'll be ready to pop this bad boy in there, get everything hooked up, and then hopefully not too long we'll get to hear it crank up. Mailman Mechanic, see you at the mailbox.